Hi, my name is Christelle, and this is Untethered Love. Welcome to my channel. Today we have a reading for the collective. We are currently under the energies of a new moon in Taurus, but this reading is timeless. I set that intention before pulling these cards. So whenever you find it is whenever you're meant to receive these messages. But like I said before, the new moon in Taurus is happening tomorrow. We are under a lot of Taurus energy. Sun, moon, Mercury. Um, what else? Jupiter just went into Taurus. The North Node is in Taurus. There's a lot of this fixed earth energy, a lot of Cancerian, Piscean energy. So a lot of feminine energy going on. Fire signs and air signs may be feeling a little suffocated right now. I am double air and fire, so I'm with you there. But we're gonna get through these energies. These energies are working with us, or at least we want them to work with us. The way my readings typically work is that I pull some oracle cards first to kind of ground the reading, and then we'll pull tarot to further expand the messages. So I believe this is the Queen of the Moon Oracle, because we are dealing with moon energies today. And three cards popped out. We got the Abundance card, Growth, and Nourishment. And these are probably the most Taurus as cards you could possibly pull from this deck. The first thing that came to mind when I saw this, the first card that really spoke to me, was the Nourishment. And this card talks about being mindful of what is nourishing you, what is sustaining you, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, what is really nourishing you, and being mindful of that, and being holistic about it. There's a lot of circular globe. I don't know if you can see, there's like a globe here, another globe here, the full moon here. And it's really, I think these three cards together is really asking us to be holistic within our nourishment. And that can be quite difficult. Personally, I am going through that journey of being more holistic in terms of like my healing and my development. And I plan on documenting that journey and sharing that with you guys eventually. But it can be very difficult to juggle all these parts of ourselves, of our lives, and make sure that they're balanced and fulfilling and sustainable. And so what I would encourage you to do is, if you can take three things, something that's really good for your mind, something that's really good for your spirit, and something that's really good for your body, and taking those three potential habits and working on just those for right now. We live in a society that right now, currently, with the internet, in this age of information, we get so much information on, like, oh, we should be meditating and journaling and exercising and getting like lymphatic massages, and you got to be gluten free and sugar free, and you should be reading every single day. It's very overwhelming. So what I would encourage you to do, three things that you can do, something for your mind, body, spirit, and start from there. Because we are under these Taurus energies, what I want to tell you, and this is a message that I shared on my TikTok, is the fastest way to whatever goal you have, whatever dream you have, anything that you want to accomplish, is going the route of the tortoise, not the hare. Slow, intentional action will always get you to wherever you want to go faster than going in a rush. So that is another message that has been coming through to me consistently. But also as an Aries, that is a that's a message that I always hear from my guides, is taking my time. I want to say too, anything that is worth having, anything that is truly valuable, and Taurus has a lot to do with values. Anything that is truly valuable takes time. Anything that seems like a quick fix, that it's just like bada bing, bada boom, typically doesn't last, typically isn't sustainable. So although it can feel very grueling, very painstakingly slow, it is worth it. And not only is it worth it, but the journey of taking your time, of really, and again, I'm going to tap into these Taurus energies. Taurus has to do with the senses. Your sight, your smell, your taste, your touch, your hearing, really taking in all of these sensory things, sensations, and savoring them, and going towards the things that feel really just like yummy. I've had a on and off journey with yoga, and I really, really, really love when I take my time. Okay, I consume cannabis. I like edibles, but if I take like just an edible and I do some really good deep stretching, and I can really feel like my muscles wrapped around my bones, and just like strength stretching, or when you wake up in the morning and you get like a good just like anything that feels like that, lean into it. Really get into that yummy, satiating space. Also like heart space as well. Go to the things, lean into the things that feel that way. Yeah. And another message that I received with looking at these cards, again with the globes and the circular, the world, the collective. A lot of what we are experiencing internally is happening on an external level. The things that we see happening, I'm in America, the things we see happening in our government, the things we see happening in the world, the crumbling of these old structures, all of that stuff that we see is really a reflection of what is going on internally with us. So I want you to know that the more you take care of yourself and nourish yourself, the more you can show up for your community, the more it expands out into the world. And also being mindful of the world. You are not, yes, you are your world, but you are not alone. You do live within a community, within a society on this planet. So really being mindful of the footprint that you're leaving. Particularly like these two cards here, when we think about global warming, pollution, how our society views people who are different, so trans people, people who are in the LGBTQ community, how people respect children, how people respect women and their rights, how we respect our oceans, the air, the atmosphere. All of that is really important. And although us as individuals can't change the entire thing, but if we take small steps within us and taking that little initiative, we're showing the universe that we care about the earth. And if one person does it, 10 people do it, 100 people do it, 10,000 people do it, all of us taking these small little steps it does make an impact. I'm not saying you have to dedicate yourself to preserving wildlife or anything like that, but things like picking up trash in your like neighborhood, or any little thing that you can do to really help the earth. Maybe growing your own food, or just growing your own herbs, anything like that, where you can connect with the earth, connect with your community. It doesn't have to be every single day, but if you even take one day out of the month or once every 2 weeks to do those small things, it's showing the universe that you are in communion with it. And I think that'll be really powerful for a lot of us to do, especially, if you're looking at card readings, you are a spiritual person, you are most likely an intuitive person, and how we interact with our environment is a very spiritual thing. So keep that in mind. Okay, that was a a lot that came out. Let me pull some tarot. Also, another thing with this, and this actually, I feel like I keep talking about myself, but sorry guys, it just, in the little booklet for this nourishment card, there's a statement in here that says, like, if you find yourself being jealous or envious of someone, or really feeling like you're missing out on something, like you feel like you should be receiving something right now, and it's not happening, don't take that as a failure. Don't take that as like that is not meant for you. But in fact, having that desire, having those feelings is an indication that those things are in fact for you. They just require that slow, consistent, intentional action towards the thing, your heart's desire. So don't get down if you're feeling a little left out, or a little jealous or envious of something, someone that you see. That's actually a really beautiful thing, and an indication of what is your true heart's desire. Yeah. Okay. So let's shuffle these cards. I shuffled them a little bit before. Look at this, 5 of Pentacles came out. Yeah, just feeling like you don't have enough. Like you see everyone around you experiencing these wonder... I didn't even really look. Right underneath the 5 is the 10 of Pentacles. You feel like you're at the 5 of Pentacles and you want the 10. But the 10 of Pentacles takes time. It takes time. I didn't even really fully shuffle these, but I'm already getting, and yeah, underneath the 10 and the 5 of Pentacles, we have the 2 of Cups, the Lovers, and the Knight of Cups. And I said this in my last reading before. In order to get this 10, there needs to be a union within yourself. And I know we always hear it and you're like, well, when am I done doing the healing and the journey, and when am I gonna meet my people? When am I gonna meet my special person? When am I gonna meet the group of friends that I've been dreaming about? When I'm gonna meet the community that feels like home? And it really requires you to really make the decision to come into union with yourself, to really embrace all the contradictory parts of yourself, the ugly parts, the parts you deem as bad, the parts that you love to show off, and really letting them come together and being like, okay, we are whole. We are together. We're in this together. And all these aspects of myself are beautiful because they are going to be the tools that I use to get me to the places that I want to be. Even the things that you think are not so good about yourself. And it's also about like consciously, because the Lover's card is about, yes, people assume it's about like love, but it's about like making the right decision, making, and I don't even want to say right decision, but making the aligned decision, the decision that is in alignment with your highest good, with your highest self. And what's really beautiful about this card is that angel at the top. And so it's really important for us to remember that we always, always can ask for help, even if we can't ask for help within our external environment, which a lot of the time, there's a lot of people that we can be asking for help, but we are too prideful, or we think that like, oh no, everyone's looking out for themselves and they're not going to want to help me. And it's not always necessarily true. So Taurus season has a lot to do with resources. Really double check your surrounding and see what resources you have available to you, one. And two, check with your spiritual resources. You have a team. You have a council. You have, you have angels and guides and ancestors that walk with you every single day. Ask them. Ask to see the truth. Ask to see your resources. Ask to be guided, to be led. And I want to say also, in making the decision, Two of Cups, Lovers, or Two of Cups, Lovers, and then the Knight of Cups, in this coming into union with yourself, coming into union with the divine, with your ancestors, with your guides, and really building that relationship, this really beautiful love begins to, overflow within you. And this really beautiful sense of like self-love, which is like the most beautiful love. Because when you really love yourself, you can get through anything. Anything. Things come and go. People can come and go. Even your most beloved family members are not going to be here forever. That is just a fact of life. Things leave, people leave, situations change. But in having deep love for yourself, having love for yourself when you are at your absolute worst, when you are being the biggest fucking asshole, and you feel like a piece of shit, and still finding grace and still finding unconditional love for yourself. I'm not saying don't hold yourself accountable, but loving yourself really just opens up so many doors. Under that, I guess we're just flowing with this. I'm not going to shuffle anymore. We got the Queen of Wands. So yeah, that deep love of self, that deep love of all the parts of you opens up your creativity. Opens up your ability to show up in the world, to shine, to be, I don't know, Queen of Wands, look as she's just dressed in this yellow with the sunflower, big solar plexus energy. She's not she's not afraid to shine and really getting into that creative bag. Whatever is creative to you, whether you're an artist, a writer, a mathematician, a content creator, whatever you do in the world that makes you feel confident, ignites your fire, opens up your heart, and this deep love of self opens up this Queen of Wands, and underneath that opens up to abundance, opens yourself up to the Empress energy. And I really love if we go back to this abundance, this is possible for you. Living a soft life, whatever that looks like for you. Sitting on your throne. And underneath that, we've got the Empress. Oh, not the Empress, the King of Wands. So, this deep love of self, opens you to your creativity, opens you to your abundance, opens you to partnership, opens you to mastery of your creative self. Mastery over what you do in the world. Opens you up to other people who are masters within their creative world. You might be, people who are resonating with this may be fire signs. You have heavy fire energy, connecting with fire-like people. Yeah. And then we've got the Four of Pentacles. I don't typically read reversals, but I try to always turn all my cards over, and this was still underneath, reversed in my deck. So I'm going to take it as a Four of Pentacles reverse. So really releasing, there's a need for trust, because the Death card is here too. And so when death is happening, there is a need to trust, to let go, to not cling on so tightly to narratives we have about ourselves, not cling on so tightly to what we see in our physical reality, because our physical reality takes time to catch up to what is internally happening. It doesn't, sometimes if you're like really a master manifester, you can have things come in super quickly. But I think for the overwhelming majority of us, these things take time. So don't get distracted by what you may be externally seeing or experiencing within your reality. It's really about turning inward, because it says upside down, turning inward and making sure that wealth is always flowing within, that spirit of prosperity is always flowing within, that spirit of unconditional love is always flowing within. And when that frequency is continually, moving through us, it then can manifest in the 3D. Malkut. So really, a lot of transformation is happening. Underneath that is the Five of Swords. Don't be impatient. Do not be impatient. Your impatience can lead to self-centeredness, self-sabotage, really having like a greed, wanting what you want, when you want it, how you want it. And when in actuality, again, I mentioned talking to your team, you don't see everything. You don't know why something hasn't come into you yet, or come into your reality yet. Certain things have to happen in order for you to receive the fullness of what you deserve, the fullness of what is your inheritance. And so don't think you know everything, all right? One thing that I've learned is that the only thing I know is that I don't know shit, okay? we don't see everything. Um, we can't see everything. We quite literally can't see everything. So don't keep pushing, like, pushing to get what you want now at by any means necessary. Whenever I see this card, that's what I think. By any means necessary. We can often like just squander and fuck things up that didn't need, causing unnecessary harm, unnecessary, being cruel. It is a type of cruelty to push through and like exert your own stubborn willpower. Taurus, just don't do that. Underneath that, we've got the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Nine of Cups. See, baby? Tapping into that creativity again with this Wands energy and being diligent, being intentional, and, walking towards this wish fulfillment, this feeling of like, I got this. I really accomplished all of these things. I can enjoy these cups of wine, the champagne towers, and enjoy the pleasures of life. And this does not come without struggle. It does not come without internal conflicts. The 5 again. 5 of Swords with the 5 of Wands. In tempering yourself, learning to temper your fire, learning to temper your desires. Not necessarily discarding your desires, but really, because Wands also, fire energy is vision. And sometimes, like fire signs, people with a lot of fire and air energy, you can see way into the future. Particularly like Aries and Aquarius energy, you can see way into the future and you're like, oh my gosh, I have this vision. And you're like, I gotta get there. But it's not, the vision is not the only thing. There's a needing to, I kind of want to compare it to the process of making precious gems or stones, where like the earth has to compress, and a lot of heat and moisture and compression and really just pushing it in, and that process of crystallization in order to receive this beautiful gem, diamond, stone. And really tempering your fire, your air, your water, your earth, and becoming an alchemist so that you can receive this, where is she? You can receive this 9 of Cups. Be mindful of the critical bitch in your head. The Queen of Swords is the critical voice of your mother that like lives in the back of your head, that like always has something to say about like what you're eating or the outfit you're wearing. That's her. And then with this, be mindful of your thoughts. Your thoughts are not facts. Even if you do have negative thoughts come up, you don't have to believe them. You don't have to play into them. You don't have to give them life. You can, what I do is I acknowledge it and I'm like, oh, okay, thank you for telling me that. Thank you for telling me how fat I look in this outfit. That's nice. That's your opinion, but I'm gonna wear it anyway because I said I was gonna wear it. And it's the only clean thing I have to wear today. So, yeah, check her. Another thing with this, often this voice is also like the ego playing mind tricks with you. I've been trying to talk, I go back and forth, talking to my ego either very gently and being like, okay, I know you're really trying to protect me, and I know that's what you think, but we're just gonna put that to the side. Or just being like, bitch, don't talk to me that way, and know you're wrong. So whichever way works for you, really talking to your ego when it's feeding you these false narratives. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. Again, these things take time. With the Ten of Cups, it's gonna take time. Really, patience. Be patient. Then we've got the Devil card with the World. Let me sit with this for a second. I want to say with the Devil card, because the Devil card always gets a bad rap. I want to say this showing up here after the Ten of Cups and then the World card coming after is, again, tempering the fire. It's okay to have those carnal desires, and kind of like what I was saying in the very beginning, and embracing all the parts of ourselves. There's a time and a place for the devil. You cannot, as much as you may try to be pure and holy and all of that, we all have a shadow. You cannot get rid of your shadow. And the more you try to eradicate the shadow, the bigger it gets. The more, not even, it doesn't get necessarily bigger. It becomes more sinister. It really plays under the radar, and then it gets you. So, and then there's also the Knight of Wands here. Have fun, have play. Learn when to indulge and when not to indulge. When the carnal desires are like worth playing with, and when they need to be like put away. It really requires discernment. And speaking of that discernment again, with the Lover's card and the Devil, how similar they are. Always asking, is this enough? Do I need to stop? Do I need to chill? Can I indulge in this more? Always connecting with the higher self, okay? If you wanna play, you wanna be a little naughty, that's okay. But really recognizing, what is my limit? What is the limit? Yeah. balance. I think I'm gonna pull one more oracle card. But I don't know which. I'm trying to decide. I'm looking at all my cards here. Freaking squirrels in my things outside. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. let's do, yeah, the Work Your Light Oracle. Let me get some parting messages, advice for the collective. So we've got get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Again, earlier when I was talking about that symbiosis with nature. And we live in a, what's that word? Not society, an ecosystem. We live within the ecosystem. You are not by yourself. Protection, call back your power, cut off cords, soul retrieval. And Mintakin, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Again, you have this feeling of like, when I was talking about that jealousy or that envy, you're like, where is home? Where is my special place? And the key to getting to that special place is calling back your power, calling back your authenticity. Life, as we go through life, we can go through many circumstances that in order to protect ourselves, we leave parts of ourselves behind. We forget about parts of ourselves. But in order to retrieve, or in order to get to the place we need to get to, or that we are desiring, we are yearning to be, we need to have all parts of ourselves. Again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All bringing all parts of yourself here. And in bringing all parts of yourself and coming into union with yourself, you are able to find home. You are able to go forward. Yeah, go sit in nature, y'all. See how she's sitting there? I do all my readings sitting on the floor. I don't know. I just like it that way. I've always been a floor girly. When I was a kid, I used to sleep under the table. Sit on your floor. Eat dinner on the floor. Like, just get grounded. Go have a picnic. Go outside. Right now in the States, it's springtime. Go out there. I think we're going to end it there. I don't want this to be too long. I feel like it's already a little long. But have a beautiful day. I hope this reading resonated with you and you enjoyed it. Anything you want to share below, please feel free to do so. If there's a particular topic, like reading, type of reading you want me to do, let me know below and I'll do that. And have a beautiful day. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.